Alright guys, so in this video we are going to discuss all the future advanced Conquerors Haki users in One Piece. This title is a bit misleading since I won't be talking about every specific strong character or top tier, mainly because a lot of these characters lack a lot of characterization as well as no real indicator of their strength holding any relevancy towards the future of One Piece to where they would have Conquerors Haki. I will only be talking about confirmed Conquerors Haki users and characters who should have it based on story implications and future narrative importance regarding their strength. The two obvious people I want to mention are Rayleigh and Shanks. They obviously have this ability, so I will not be mentioning them in the video since they practically shown it, and for Rayleigh's case, he 100% has to have it, and he's pretty much implied he does with one of those panels where he did pull up on Blackbeard. He has the highest level of armament Haki, and he's a confirmed conqueror. How do you not have this ability? And if you still don't think that, just continue the video, it'll make more sense how I tie armament Haki to conquerors Haki. So if there's characters you think has it or will have it, like Usopp for example, I apologize, I won't be talking about it, but we can talk about it in the comments, so let me know. There's a certain criteria I'm going to follow to help better gauge whether a person is most likely to use advanced conquerors Haki or will straight up have it based on this so-called criteria, which is advanced armament Haki, which can also be known to some people as Ryo. I say this can be viewed as sort of a criteria, or better yet a prerequisite, since it's been implied that you kind of need to learn this ability in order to utilize advanced conquerors Haki. This is not confirmed, nor is there a flat out statement that says this, but like I said, I believe it's kind of implied. Before we get into that, we must first briefly discuss Ryo, or advanced armament Haki, and what it is. This is a very controversial debate that can be stretched into its own video, but I'm going to try to simplify it and make it short. Trust me, it's going to make sense why I'm even talking about this later on in the video. By the way guys, hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. It would be absolutely wonderful and I would appreciate every single one of you guys. Subscribe and like the video if you learned something new. Is that a deal? Alright, let's shake on it. Deal. I trust you are a man or woman of your word, so don't let me down. The next level of armament Haki comes in two stages. The first one acting as invisible armor that can act as a defensive barrier and can be used offensively for more power. As we can see, the barrier surrounding the armament hardened hand that is completely black, and usually the indicator for someone using this first level of advanced armament Haki would be this white circle with spikes around it. Some characters we see and use this level were Rayleigh, Goro, and Sentomaru. The Scabbards and Zoro also have this level of advanced armament Haki or Ryo as well. If you are confused about what I mean, let me explain. Goro describes advanced armament Haki as Ryo throughout his entire training session with Luffy. As Luffy even practices advanced armament Haki, Goro says what you call Haki is what we call Ryo. It's the concept of flow. Goro is referring to specifically advanced armament Haki as Ryo in their training, and as Luffy describes and remembers the moments when he's seen advanced armament Haki used in the past, Goro even tells Luffy they also have that ability in Wano, and it can be infused into the blade. It's basically implying that the breath of all things is a form of Ryo, but don't worry too much about that. Regardless, this level of Ryo is what Zoro and the Scabbards used to pierce and cut Kaido, as Kaido even mentioned before the Scabbards jumped him that they can't even damage him, but they surprisingly do. And then Kaido questions how that's even possible, how they can pierce him, and he implies it's because they are using Oden's Ryo too. Obviously they aren't nearly as strong as Oden individually. When Kaido says they are using Oden's Ryo to pierce him, it's because of the level of Ryo that Goro describes the swordsman can use in Wano, that can pretty much pierce and cut everything like he describes. Basically very similar to the breath of all things, and we know Zoro is capable of using that, and he was obviously able to cut Kaido on the rooftop. The next level to advanced armament Haki is doing eternal damage, allowing you to destroy things from within and damage enemies' interiors without touching them. Only confirmed users of this level of Ryo is Rayleigh, which we have seen him destroy collars from within, and Luffy, who does the same thing with Yamato's cuffs. Now you guys are probably wondering, why is advanced armament Haki important? For Luffy to acquire this ability, Goro tells them that it's all about the flow of Haki. It's the concept of flow. You must allow the Haki to flow into your fists from parts you do not need it. The application of advanced armament Haki helps regulate and flow his Haki. This is why Luffy was able to coat himself with Conquerors Haki. He flowed his Conquerors Haki to coat himself with it. The reason for this is because Luffy got a flashback and remembered his teachings from Goro, teaching him the flow of Haki to unlock advanced armaments. And then right after, Luffy unlocked advanced Conquerors Haki. This is why I say knowing this ability is kind of like a prerequisite to know how to use advanced Conquerors Haki, since we can assume every advanced Conquerors Haki user has at least the first level of advanced armament. I think it's definitely safe to assume that with the top tiers. Only outlier people would try to use is Yamato, but there's moments that Yamato has made an insane barrier, and we know the first level of Ryo basically allows you to do that, and it has the same hit markers and indicators that is pretty much identical to other people using advanced armament. If she can regulate advanced Conquerors Haki, which is superior to advanced armament Haki, I doubt she can use advanced armament Haki. At least the first level, if you know what I mean. Now I'm gonna tie all this into other parts of the video, so don't worry. Now, let's move on to the people I think will obtain or showcase this ability in the future of One Piece. The first one is Katakuri. Katakuri is a funny one. Now, this is definitely a fan favorite character, and people want him to have the ability, people want to see him again. We know the deal. But if Katakuri has any story relevance to the future, which I do believe he will, Katakuri should come back with this ability. Just think about it. With Big Mom supposedly dead, and some of the Big Mom pirates perishing in Wano alongside the eldest son Perospero, Katakuri, who is the oldest of his family now and the strongest Sweet commander, needs to step up and act as the leader in Tato Land in order to protect Big Mom's enormous amount of children, which is also his family and his siblings. We even seen in like a cover story, he was fighting off against some intruders to protect the land. Whether he continues the Big Mom pirates legacy or creates his own, there is no doubt that Katakuri has a reason to become stronger. The next one is Boa. This might be the most controversial one, since majority of the One Piece watchers see Boa as someone who might not even be stronger than Doflamingo. But this is where my entire spill of advanced armament Haki comes in. Boa's sisters seemingly have advanced version of Haki. I say seemingly because with Sandra Sonia specifically, it seems like she's using future sight. Alright, this is most likely Cat, but since her other sister has confirmed advanced Haki and Sandra Sonia is known for her observation, I think it's possible that she has it, honestly. But in this scenario, it was confirmed that she was using observation Haki by the girls watching in the back, as she was reading all of Luffy's attacks and moving her body accordingly. Kinda like what our favorite Dona Muncher, the god of future sight, was doing against Luffy in his battle. But I get this one might be kinda strange for people to believe. I understand that. So here's another example of her other sister, the rather large one, using the barrier Ryo, or advanced armament Haki, like we talked about, which is the first stage of advanced armament Haki. As we've seen in this panel, she was able to deflect Luffy's stamp attack right back at him. And as Luffy said, when Rayleigh bodied the elephant, he used advanced armament to deflect it. And if we put these two scenes side by side, they are essentially doing the same thing. They are making a barrier to deflect an attack. The elephant tried to kick Rayleigh, and Luffy tried to kick her, and they both got deflected. And identical to Rayleigh, she has the same exact hit markers that showcase Rayleigh using the ability. Here's another comparison side by side, which we can clearly see that there actually is a barrier between her and Luffy, and as well as the palm hand gesture that is usually associated with people using advanced Haki, like Sentomaru in the flashback that was just shown. There are also more impact markers confirming the similarities. Boa being superior to all her sisters and being the empress of her kingdom, she has to be familiar with those applications of Haki as well, since she's a confirmed user of armaments and observation. But wait, Boa is also a Conquerors Haki user. I don't think it's a coincidence that she is one, as she literally is their empress. Remember the teachings of advanced armament from Goro, the flow of Haki essentially helped Luffy coat himself with Conquerors Haki? If Boa knows the flow of Haki to create advanced armament Haki, she could come to that same conclusion and regulate her Haki to be an advanced Conquerors Haki user. Obi is a non-confirmed conqueror, and I will talk about the non-confirmed guys later on in the video, but I had to mention him because it's kind of the same thing with Boa. I had to mention him because he used the most advanced version of armament Haki, where he was able to completely destroy Pizarro from within without even touching him. As you can see, his range extends nearly to his face. This, in my opinion, is stage 2, similar to how Luffy in internally damage the tree without touching it, but on a greater scale. I bring this up because similar to Boa, he already knows how to use his application of advanced armament Haki. So when Kobe realized he has Conquerors Haki in the future, this should be something he can adapt to and learn without too much difficulty. Kobe more than likely is a conqueror because he possesses great qualities, works hundreds of times harder than everyone around him, has the ambition to be amongst the strongest marines. Some may say he's Garp's successor. If he's gonna truly surpass that legend of a man, especially without a Devil Fruit, this ability is almost a necessity. Eustace Captain Kidd. You know I call him Garbage Man on this channel all the time, but we're not gonna do that this video. Now this brother, I have never seen him use Haki a day in his life. Maybe he used Conquerors somewhere in the manga, but I don't even remember that. Eustace Kidd got violated by Shanks and he got his poneglyph stolen somewhere on the shore of Elbaf. A Kidd redemption is coming, along with Law. These guys both got major setbacks, but they are both still some of the main frontrunners of the new generation. They will make a return in the series. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Now I'm a believer of Oda not doing shit for no reason. Why would Oda mention someone has Conquerors Haki for them to never use it? I understand if this character might not be relevant in the future of One Piece, or they're a previous generation member and it's used to gas up their lore. They were a conqueror in like Roger's era and they were going toes with him or whatever. But with a character like Kidd, he's gonna have relevance in the future of the story. So up until this point, his Conquerors Haki was pretty much useless. It's not like Oda used Kidd for any hype conqueror clashes or used his Conquerors Haki to make scenes look cool or anything like Katakuri and Dofi, because theirs technically had a purpose. So he must have gave it to him for another purpose, which I believe is going to be used to make him stronger since he got violated because he was too weak. The next segment we are going to be talking about are not confirmed Conquerors Haki users. So if you're someone who doesn't want to hear my headcanon on them having it, or how I would like to call it, very logical assumptions, this part of the video is not for you. I only want to mention two guys here and we have some honorable mentions. The first one is Mihawk. When Rayleigh was explaining Conquerors Haki to Luffy, he mentioned that the people who made a name for themselves most likely possess this ability. And Mihawk, obviously having the world's strongest title, he made one of the biggest names in One Piece. And obviously him being the pinnacle of swordsmanship that Zoro is still trying to overcome, even at his current stage where he even possesses advanced Conquerors Haki, he's still not on his level, and many of us can agree to that. Zoro already has an ability that considers him amongst the strongest that can use it, and it would be strange that he defeats a person who isn't amongst the strongest that can use that ability. It's arguably the most powerful ability that can be infused with the sword, and he doesn't possess it as the strongest? Yeah, no. Akainu. The previous fleet admiral was a conqueror, and now the fleet admiral is Akainu, which his reign of being fleet admiral has made the marine stronger. Obviously some of that can be chalked up to his individual strength, but Akainu's entire character hasn't been fleshed out completely. I can't really speak on him from a character aspect. His future relevance in the series makes this possible for me. And by the way, once again, to tie in my whole advanced armament Haki lesson, he also has the first level seemingly of advanced armament since him and the other admirals showcased it in Marineford. So if he knows the first step, then he knows the flow, and we know the flow should help you obtain Conquerors Haki infusion. The fleet admiral in the strongest generation has to be up to par. I'm pretty sure he's going to be a catalyst to help elevate a certain character. In my opinion, it's going to be Luffy wholeheartedly. If I had to put anything on my life in One Piece, it would be this fight. And I made a video on it if you guys want to go see that. But what it feels like that future competitive fights in One Piece are going to be against the strongest fighters. And it will make sense that this ability is going to be used amongst them. And as well, him being the strongest marine right now, it makes sense out of everyone he has this ability. It's not that the marines don't have conquerors. They do have like Garp and Sengoku, but I'm talking about people in their prime. Some honorable mentions I want to mention are Blackbeard. Honestly, this is pretty much a toss-up to me. I don't know what route Oda wants to take with Blackbeard. It makes sense that he's a conqueror, like he should be one of the characters to have it, but at the same time I don't know if Oda wants to go that direction with his character, because Blackbeard throughout the entire series has been getting stronger by trying to obtain abilities, specifically Devil Fruits, and he's been doing that for majority of his time, and we've seen him break the laws of One Piece by having 2. What says he can't have 3? So if that's how Oda wants to display Blackbeard's true strength as someone who's a Devil Fruit merchant, he can definitely go that route, and it makes sense since he's been going that route the entire series. Dragon, I don't know what powers he uses, I don't know nothing. I do know he possesses crazy leadership qualities because this man was able to form a revolution, and more recently, since we've seen from so long ago, this man had a real ambition to take down the people sitting at the top. He made it his life goal. Not a lot of people can do that. It takes a brave man with some big, you know what. And of course, he's the father of Luffy, and he's part of the Monkey D family and the son of Garp. Igorose and Emu, like these guys are mythical creatures. We see him with Saturn. When he did his ritual, he had some conquerors flown in the back, some lightning that look like conquerors. I don't know if that is conquerors, but if it is, it makes sense that that was the lightning. I honestly don't know if Oda would give these guys conquerors. They can still be top tiers without it because it looks like he's giving them some crazy bro broken hacks. This emu creature could show us powers we never seen before that even rivals advanced conquerors Haki, so I can't speak on them. But since they're endgame villains and emu's probably the final villain in One Piece, having this ability still makes sense. But yeah guys, that's pretty much it for the video. Make sure you guys take the time to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I would very much appreciate every single one of you guys. If you made it this far, let me know. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.